What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett Podcast. We on episode 98. Two more to go. Hit 100. Going to do the press release and run the ad campaign as well for that. And keep it moving. Probably going to take maybe a week off just to take a break, get the press release done, map out how I'm going to do things this year because I'm going to try to do a podcast every single day, especially as long as I keep coming up with topics every single day, which means I got to watch a lot of content every single day. But before we get started, in episode 98, don't forget my podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, or your service, check out promopalace.biz. Pretty much do everything on there, the one-stop shop for all music promotion or promotion of your brand or your service. Also, if you're a dog lover, cat lover, you like t-shirts or hoodies with dogs and cats on them, please check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. We got sneakers on there as well. We also got merchandise for your dogs to wear, like dog apparel, dog bandanas, and we got dog tags on there as well. Of course, we got to have dog tags on newlitter.com. Also, for Shizzle, I got to shout out dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future. Do your dizzle. Just add ice. Dizzle on ice. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and more. I actually run their Facebook fan page and their profile and their TikTok as well. And Dizzle, I believe, is going to be not that I believe. I know Dizzle is going to be a $100 million business or more. So check them out. Online order link as well. A dozen recipes that you could mix your Dizzle with, and it's just perfectly ready to go on ice because it has that orange liquor mango mix going into it. Before we get started with any topics, we go over the NBA scores. Well, I don't really go over the scores. I just pretty much tell you who wins, who beat who, because it really doesn't matter the score. Win's a win, a loss is a loss. Philadelphia 76ers beat the Houston Rockets. Who could have figured? My Charlotte Hornets barely lost to the Washington Wizards. We're still young, though. We're still young. Memphis Grizzlies beat Brooklyn Nets. Memphis looks really good, man. Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, Steven Adams. Some good players coming off the bench. Yeah, I like the way they look. Chicago beat Orlando. I seen a post where somebody said Chicago's going to win it all. Pump the brakes. Chicago's good. Don't get me wrong. Chicago's good. And they got an open window right now. But they are missing one of their starters is out for the season. Patrick Williams would be starting at power forward more likely if he's not hurt. Then you'd have, DeRozan and Levine and Lonzo Ball. And then you got Kobe White coming off the bench. You got Caruso coming off the bench. Derrick Jones Jr. coming off the bench. They got some real good bench pieces too. That's the thing. But they're still a man short. They're still young. They still got some young pieces on there. Kobe White's still young. Lonzo, this is his first year of really, really being like the point guard of the team. When he was with the Pelicans, last year they made Zion the point guard. The year before that, it was Brandon Ingram. So there's that. But Chicago is looking good. Milwaukee lost to Detroit. It happens. Utah beat the Pelicans. Dallas beat Denver. Denver's really starting to plummet now. Michael Porter Jr. got hurt. Jamal Murray ain't come back. And these health and safety protocol things are so bogus. Like Denver literally pulled players out just so they could have a game postponed. Golden State beat Miami. Portland beat Atlanta. Anthony Simmons put up a 40-piece wing dinner, but of course, Trae Young put up a 50-piece wing dinner. And the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Clippers, and they should be beating the Clippers with Paul George out. And the Clippers have actually been winning games without Paul George, man. Ty Lue has to be top 3 for Coach of the Year. I'm thinking it's Ty Lue, Billy Donovan, Billy Donovan, and J.B. Bickerstaff, Cleveland Cavs coach. Yeah, 2 of them in the East, definitely. Yeah, I'm thinking that he has to be in the mix, man. Definitely has to be in the mix. Paul's power picks, pretty much still the same as they were yesterday. Number 1, Golden State. Number 2, Phoenix Suns. Number 3, the Chicago Bulls. Number 4, Brooklyn Nets. And number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. That's Paul's power picks, top 5. And Bucks are just under the radar right now because they're at 5. They're the defending champs, and they're number 5 right now in my power picks. And literally come playoff time, they could be the best team. Who knows? I mean, Giannis is still doing Giannis-like things. Middleton's been in and out. Drew Holiday's been in and out. Brook Lopez has been hurt. They ain't even been fully healthy. Health and safety protocols have players going in and out. So, yeah, that could all change. And NFL, last night, I actually did not check the score yet of the Monday night game. I'm checking this live. And Pittsburgh, who I picked to beat Cleveland, won. Pittsburgh won. I picked it to beat Cleveland. Cleveland's season is a complete failure and disaster. With all that talent they got on the defensive end and the offensive end, it's a complete disaster. Pittsburgh won. And what's crazy is Antonio Brown come out with a video saying that this might not be Ben Roethlisberger's last game at, Heinz Stadium or whatever it's called. I mean, I'm looking at Pittsburgh like really, they don't really have a better option next year. They don't really got a better option than Ben Roethlisberger next year. They are, see the standings. They are number 2 in the division right now. Pittsburgh is number 2 in their division right now, man, over Baltimore. They're 8-7. They're above 500. So if they can win these games outright, these last games, who's to say? Pittsburgh might even make the playoffs, man. Let's pump the brakes. Pittsburgh might make the playoffs here. If the Colts keep losing, if Baltimore keeps losing, if Miami keeps losing, Pittsburgh might make the playoffs here. Let's pump the brakes here, man. Let's pump the brakes. And if they make the playoffs, oh, man, like Mike Tomlin, I got to give him crazy credit for what they're working with. And Paul's power picks for the NFL, number 1. Green Bay is still number 1, man. Green Bay is not going to move out my number 1 of my power picks. They've literally had the number 1 slot since I started Paul's power picks. And they've kept it, and they're not going to lose it. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, the Los Angeles Rams. And number 5, the Buffalo Bills. That's my top 5 power picks. Cowboys out. Odell is really starting. He's scoring a nice amount of touchdowns over there at the Rams. He's making the most of all his opportunities. And if he even gets more opportunities, who knows what happens. I tell you what, if the Rams don't keep Odell, damn, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to look to try to pick him up and add him to the Tom Brady pieces and whatnot. All right, so let me get into some subjects, some topics. All right, so let me get into this. Actually, which one we want to talk about first? All right, so we're going to talk about this one first. I see this thing where, this is where the hypocrisy and the double standard comes in. I see this thing where Colbert was saying that if Kyle Rittenhouse, that they need to change the laws. Basically, since Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty, that the laws need to be changed. Self-defense needs to be illegal. I mean, if self-defense is going to be illegal, then damn it, everything on this planet should be illegal. Being dumb and stupid and an idiot and a jackass and a moron, that should be illegal. Because if there's one thing, like, that should never, like, I would literally rather have the self-defense law stay in than freedom of speech. Like, you can take away my freedom of speech, but don't take away my freedom to self-defend myself. Once self-defense becomes illegal, everything should be counted as illegal. Everything should be classified. Alcohol should be illegal. Cigarettes should be illegal. You just looking at me the wrong way should be illegal. If you just cuss at me, it should be illegal. You get loud with me, that should be illegal. Everything should be illegal once self-defense becomes illegal. I mean, when self-defense becomes illegal, we're done as a world or a country, a world, whatever. We're done. It's over. It's a wrap. It's going to be every man and woman for thyself when self-defense becomes illegal. I mean, it really is. I mean, that means a person can attack you and attempt to kill you, and you can't kill them whatsoever. If self-defense becomes illegal, it's all hell will break loose. All hell will break loose. People talking about hell on earth. Mob Deep talking about hell on earth. You'll see hell on earth. According to Colbert. Dumb, stupid, moronic ass. These people don't think about these things past their own ass. Like, if you make self-defense illegal, then people are going to be armed, robbing people at gunpoint every single day, all day, every freaking where, man. Like, I really think that these people on the left do want crime, all crimes. I don't get it. They want self-defense to be illegal, but it should be illegal for you to, but it's legal for you to just go in the store and steal $900 worth of stuff and and walk out. This shit is so ass backwards. So Colbert, go fuck yourself with that dumbass shit. Self-defense should never be illegal. The law, that's one thing the laws of nature and the laws of man should always agree on. Self-defense is not illegal. You should never be locked up for self-defense. And then, so it leads me into this hypocritical stance that this left takes, and these people always talk about white privilege. When Timothy Simpkins, I guess that's how you say his name, this guy gets a $75,000 bail, and he takes a gun to a school and attempts to shoot teachers and students, which is cold-blooded murder. That's not self-defense. You just taking a gun to school and just start randomly shooting people is not self-defense. But a clear case of self-defense, Kyle Rittenhouse, $2 million bail. Clear case. Clear. I mean, anybody who saw the video that still says it's not self-defense is they either really believe that bullshit or they're just pushing a propaganda and agenda, or they're just bold-faced liars. Either way, it was a clear case of self-defense. So that doesn't sound like white privilege to me when the white kid that has the clear case of self-defense where somebody's pointing a gun at him and could possibly pull the trigger and kill him gets a $2 million bail to get out of jail. But a guy goes to African American, takes a gun to school and just starts randomly shooting at people and trying to attempt murder, and he only gets $75,000 bail. Why is that? Because this woke climate we living in. This woke climate that we living in. And the last few cases that I've seen have gone exactly how they're supposed to. Kyle Rittenhouse, clear self-defense. Jussie Smollett, clear hoax. Kim Potter, clearly fucked up majorly, and you can't make a mistake like that. Clearly made a mistake that you can't make. Ahmaud Arbery case, clearly cold-blooded murder. You can't do citizen's arrest, first of all, without actual evidence and proof, and you better have some hard cold facts and evidence if you're going to do a citizen's arrest on somebody. And then that's why that's the police's job, to arrest people, because the average citizen, first of all, doesn't know jack shit about citizen's arrest, even though citizen's arrest used to be a very common thing back in the days. But now, I mean, nah, man. And who are you, to try to, I don't know. We don't need citizens enforcing law, out there trying to play cops and robbers and stuff. So, last 4 cases I've seen have been clearly gone how they're supposed to, based on our justice system. Kyle Rittenhouse was clearly self-defense. Jussie Smollett was clearly lying, a freaking hoax. Ahmaud Arbery was clearly cold-blooded murder. And Kim Potter clearly made a mistake that cannot be freaking made. We cannot be killing unarmed people whatsoever. I don't care if they're black, white, green, yellow, purple, orange. There's no justification for killing anybody who's unarmed. There's no justification for that. It really isn't. I mean, once you pull out a knife and a gun, it's a different ballgame. Especially a knife might even be worse than a gun, because if you might not see a knife coming, and a knife, people getting stabbed with knives die quicker than people with guns. Guns go through and through a lot of times. People don't die. This is what people don't understand. Most people don't die from the bullet. Most people do not die. Probably 90-something% of people don't die from the bullet. They die from bleeding out. They die from the bleeding out. And knives will puncture lungs quicker than bullets, slice organs, puncture lungs, and they'll cause you to bleed out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, most people, that's the thing. People don't even know all the details. They always say, guns kill people. No, people kill people. That's them not knowing nothing. They don't know their facts, that people don't actually really die from bullets. They die from bleeding out. So Colbert is a jackass. Self-defense should never be illegal. It doesn't seem like white privilege that Rittenhouse got a $2 million bail for self-defense, and a clear, cold-blooded attempted murderer gets $75K. Another thing I want to talk about: the left acting like January 6th was 9/11. Stop it, man! I seen this thing where reporters talking about they got PTSD. Stop it, man! You got PTSD from reporting the news. This is nowhere near as bad as 9/11. It's nowhere. It is not any different than any of the riots and the looting that went on across America during the George Floyd time and during whatever. Just anything that dealt with burning buildings, looting, and there was crazy violent stuff going on towards that. Crazy violent stuff, burning, looting. It's no different than what happened at the Capitol. And first of all, the Capitol's been bombed in the 70s, been bombed in the 80s. Stop it. It's not worse than that. Y'all, none of y'all reporters got PTSD from it. No, our democracy was not like they act like that. Those little bit of that small crowd of people was going to take over our democracy. Who's what? We would have ran them jackasses out as soon as they took over. We would have just ran them jackasses out. We would have just ran in there with the 82nd Airborne or whatnot, which is where I'm from, Fort Bragg. We just sent the 82nd Airborne up there, parachuted in on their asses, and kicked them out of the White House. I mean, like, stop it, man, in the Capitol building. Stop it. Like, our democracy was not in jeopardy of, we were not in jeopardy of losing our democracy. That is complete horse shit. It was a small crowd. They weren't even had guns. You mean to tell me that people that didn't go in there with guns were going to take over our government and our democracy? Stop it. That's some fairy tales, man. Stop with these movie scripts. They better have missiles and all types of stuff, man. Stop it. Y'all overselling, over-exaggerating this shit. Yes, it was fucked up what happened. But far worse things have happened in the Capitol in the 70s and the 80s. Things happened across America that were just as bad, if not worse. The gang violence in Chicago was far worse than what happened on January 6th. The fact of making an anniversary out of it is so fucking retarded and whack. So lame. You know, they try to compare it to 9/11, PTSD. Stop it, man. My father committed suicide when I was 5 years old. Get over this shit. See, you're old. But that's what's happening to CNN. They have nothing left. They have no life left to cling on except Trump and January 6th. They don't report any new, fresh news. You know, stop it, man. It's so hypocritical, double standard. It's nowhere that you're trying to compare this to 9/11. Far worse things have happened in the Capitol. The British bombed us in the Capitol before. Stop it, you know. Far worse things have happened in Chicago this year. There was, if you're saying that just going in buildings, half these people in the buildings taking they were in offices taking Instagram posts. If you call somebody running into the building, taking over the building, and posting posts on social media, pictures of themselves, a threat to our democracy, you don't know what a threat is. You have no idea what a threat is. There's got to be the most horseshit jackass thing I've ever heard. These people had no guns, none of that. They just went in there with, some of them might have billiard clubs or something like that, but they didn't have guns. There were AR-15s and grenade launchers and rocket launchers. And no, that's horseshit. That's horseshit. You know, it's such horseshit. It's nowhere near 9/11. Stop over-exaggerating. Stop. You undersell the looting and the riots, but you oversell January 6th. Stop it, man. All right. Florida State Attorney pulled over. I seen this video where Florida State Attorney's pulled over, and I don't even know why this is news. If the attorney was white, it wouldn't even be news. To me, this is just like race baiting news. People get pulled over every day, all day. Apparently, since she was a lawyer, she asked all the right questions and whatnot. But to me, this is just really race baiting topic, and this is really why I'm speaking on this. This is because it really pisses me off that they try to make headline news out of Florida state attorney pulled over by the cops and let go. Pulled over the cops, let go. But Baltimore, black police officer in Baltimore is murdered in cold blood, and it's downplayed. It's not big news. It's not headline news or nothing, man. This is such a hypocrisy, man. This is just a way for them to race bait. Oh, these white cops pulled over this black attorney. She asked these serious questions that the average person wouldn't even know to freaking ask. Hand them their attorney card, and the average person won't be able to hand them a card showing them an attorney, and we just get off. They said apparently they ran the plates. The plates didn't show up. They weren't coming up, so they pulled her over. But the fact that they're just making like headline news out of it is so hypocritical. It's such a double standard. The gun violence in Chicago. More kids are killed from gun violence in Chicago than kids are killed from COVID in the whole state of Illinois. But COVID is the pandemic, and the gun violence in Chicago is not. Female attorney, black attorney gets pulled over and lets go, and nothing happens. But a black officer in Baltimore gets murdered in cold blood just sitting in a car, and it's like, so what? It's such horseshit, such bullshit, man. And I really feel sorry for the family of the officer, that people have to be part of these political stances and propagandas and agendas that people have, man. All these things come from political agendas and stances. It would never be headline news that any black person gets pulled over by the cops and lets go. The reason they're making it headline news is because she was an attorney. I think she was the first black attorney. That's the only reason. This is all about race. And when everything's just all about race, that's called race baiting. When you make every single thing in life about race, it's race baiting. Apparently every subject in schools is racist. Math is racist. Science is racist. History is racist. I mean, we know history is racist, but math, and we know they're going to say English is racist because apparently all white people are racist, even though all my godchildren are black. All 6 of my godchildren are black. All my best friends are black. I promote hip-hop music. I record hip-hop music. I have relationships with black women. I'm a racist, apparently. I'm a white supremacist. I'm the only white face on the Dizzle brand. The only white face on the Dizzle brand, but apparently I'm a racist. My mentor is black. But apparently I'm a racist. Best friend, black. Apparently I'm racist. It's really a funny world to me, man. When a person their best friend is black, their mentor is black, the number one person on the planet that they would want to run for president is black, Denzel Washington. They record hip-hop music, which is predominantly black. They love hip-hop music. They promote hip-hop music. They've were in love with a black woman who they got initials tatted on their arm. And let's see, here's another one for you. All my godchildren are black. And how about this one for you? When I went to the hospital, got hit by a car, guess who came to see me? Only my black friends. Only my black friends came to see me. None of my white friends. But I'm such a racist and a white supremacist and an oppressor because I was born white, But, people don't never judge nobody by judging people. Last but not least, Oh, no, actually not last but not least. I got two more things that we get to real quick. AOC Mask in Florida. I mean, once again, I really think this podcast is supposed to be the source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. But really what I think it is the source for hypocritical double standards. That's what I really think it is. Because, like, every day I have to talk about a topic and a subject, especially when you get to world events and political, everything dealing with politics and world events, and even sports now, because they're bringing so much politics into the sports. There's just so much hypocritical double standards. So AOC is one of the people that wants to, be on the side, the far left radicals that call us domestic terrorists, that for if you don't wear a mask, that calls us domestic terrorists if you're not vaccinated, but knowing that she can't party like that in New York, she can't just run around maskless in New York. She takes a little hypocritical ass to Ron DeSantis' state, Florida, where it's wide open. After she tells Ron DeSantis, she tries to tell him how to run his state, which Floridians apparently freaking love Ron DeSantis. They freaking love Ron DeSantis, apparently, because he's fighting for his Floridians. And so she's such a freaking hypocrite, man. No, not a freaking hypocrite. She's such a fucking hypocrite. I'm not gonna PG-13 my podcast no more. When every day these fools are pumping out hypocritical double standards. The only reason she goes down to Florida is because she knows she could just go maskless and celebrate how she wants to party, how she wants to party. Party like a rock star, because you can't party like a rock star in New York right now. If you want to, you gotta have a mask on while you do it. That don't sound like a rock star. Rock stars just do what the fuck they want. They do what the hell they want. So she can't party like a rock star, so she gotta leave New York and go to Florida. And another thing that's pretty hypocritical, I didn't know that her boyfriend was white. For somebody who's pretty racist, she is such a hypocrite to be dating a white man. I mean, if you're a racist, then just be a full-blown racist. Don't be a hypocrite about it. I have more respect for a non-hypocritical racist than I do a hypocritical non-racist. I repeat, I have more respect for a non-hypocritical racist than I do a hypocritical non-racist. But damn, I mean, if you're going to be a racist, then don't date, and you hate, because AOC clearly hates white people. So why the hell is she even dating a white man? Is it just to get the white vote? I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. It's all politics, and the guy she's with clearly just doesn't, I don't know. They don't fit. It's just such a hypocritical, she's such a hypocrite. She really is. You're racist and you're dating a white man. If I was racist, I wouldn't be having sexual relationships with women of color, because I wouldn't be a hypocrite. But I'll have sex with Arab women, Hispanic women, black women, African women. I don't care what race. If they are attractive and they're attractive and willing, yes, I'm all for it. I don't discriminate. It is all pink. All right, this is my last thing. Monoclonal antibody treatments being housed by the U.S. government. Well, apparently, this is what Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers were talking about when I was talking about the NFL. Aaron Rodgers saying the NFL is starting to use Joe Rogan's methods, because Joe Rogan went to his doctor, and I guess that's what they gave him, these antibody treatments, these monoclonal or clonal antibody treatments or whatever. So apparently the government found out that it worked, and just housed them all, just hijacked all of them. And now they're just rationing them off. And the reason they think they're rationing them off is because they don't have enough. But, I mean, that's the problem. The government just always comes in and just tries to dictate everything. You know, this, for the sake of national security bullshit, just it's the government just constantly overreaching, man. They constantly overreaching. I mean, if there was monoclonal antibiotic treatments out there available, why the hell are you housing them and keeping them from us? And if there's not enough, okay, that's fine. We'll just give them out and let them run out. Give them out and let them run out and get some more. But if there's other options that are better than the vaccine or just as good, don't you think American people need to have these options? I guarantee if you put these monoclonal antibody treatments out there, and whatever there's something else that they were talking about too. If you put those out there, and we got enough of them, I guarantee you won't have a problem with these other 50% or 49% or 48% of Americans that are still unvaccinated. We'll be cool with taking these. I'll be cool with this monoclonal antibody treatments. Why? Because Joe Rogan took it. And why is that important? Because I trust Joe Rogan. I don't trust Dr. Fauci. And I don't trust the media. And that's another thing. You want us to just run and go get vaccinated when we're hearing this message from people that clearly cannot be trusted. Anybody that says Dr. Fauci can be trusted is dumber than a bag of bricks. He's clearly lied about funding the Wuhan lab for coronavirus. He's clearly lied. He's clearly lied. He's clear. All they've done is try to change the goalposts of what gain of function is. That's all they've done. It's like they try to change the goalposts. They're going to want to try to change the goalposts of what self-defense is. That's all it is. They just changed the goalposts on what something is. It's like, at first you couldn't go into a convenience store you could go to a department store and steal anything. You couldn't shoplift anything. So what they do, they just change the goalposts. Oh, now you could just steal anything less than $1,000 and we'll just smack you on the wrist. We won't even lock you up. We won't charge you or nothing. You're good to go. Because these department stores apparently oppressed you with their Gucci bags. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. But this monoclonal antibody treatments, like if they got these other options and they work better or just as good, we need to have these other options. And then the American public might be more keen and more prone to taking these, which should help, keep COVID cases down and stuff like that. But, you're only giving us the option that you have the monopoly on. And then you expect us to trust the media. First of all, I don't trust CNN, MSNBC, and a ton of these stations. I don't trust everybody on Fox, but I do trust some of the people on Fox. But I don't trust not one single person on CNN. Not one. They can't be trusted. Dr. Fauci can't be trusted. I mean, the government can't even fully be trusted. I don't know if the government can be partially trusted at this point. But yeah, there's just so much going on in this world, man. And we about to, it's interesting to see how 2022 is going to go. I guarantee Republicans are just going to dominate all the slots, all the spots. They're going to dominate every position, every election. Because the Dems clearly, like, I've never seen nobody be this hypocritical. I never seen the political parties ever be this hypocritical in my entire life. I'm 42 going on 43 this year. I can never remember the political party, especially the Democrats, being this hypocritical in such a double standards. Double standards is just like, come on, man, stop it, man. So, yep, that's that. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett's podcast. Got my OJ, my orange juice. And for the early morning, got my podcast episode out. We're about to enjoy the rest of the day if we can. The weather went from 70 degrees one day to like 30 the next. Just like that, you know. It went from 70 to 30 and like zero to, like a car going 0 to 100. We were supposed to have snow yesterday, but we didn't get it. But it damn near felt like snow with the misty little rain coming down, with windy as it was and cold as it was. But that's North Carolina weather for you. We got some of the sorriest weather in the world. North Carolina weather just truly, truly sucks. Don't forget my podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. You need online marketing promotion for your music, product, brand, and service. Check out promopalace.biz. It's also sponsored by New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com, like t-shirts and hoodies with cats and dogs on them. Check us out, newlitter.com. Also for Shizzle, I got to shout out dizzlebrand.com. Dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, dizzle and ice. Step into the future, do your dizzle. As you see, I got my bottle right here. Also, don't forget, audio version of my podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and more. The video version goes to YouTube, Instagram TV, Facebook, Rumbler, and also record, take the pre-recorded stream and stream it live on Twitch and 2 of my TikToks, which changes out. And I used to go live on TikTok, which I can't go live on TikTok for another 5 days because apparently when I was talking about suppressing views and thoughts and freedom of speech and all that, somebody want to try to have me suppressed off of TikTok, doesn't like what I have to say, you know. That's the thing. Once again, there's no such thing as hate speech. It's just speech that you hate. Because freedom of speech, that's the thing. There's freedom of speech. People are allowed to say whatever they want to say. You know, if it offends you, it offends you. But it doesn't, you know, there's no such thing as hate speech. It's just speech that you hate. You know, plenty of white people hate the words mayonnaise mammal from Charlemagne the God. I bring this up all the time. Charlemagne the God always says mayonnaise the mammal. Pretty sure there's plenty of white people that hate that and they call that hate speech. I don't. It's funny as hell. Mayonnaise mammals. I'm sorry, man. It is, you know. My neighbor doesn't think it's funny, but I think it's funny, you know. Mayonnaise mammals. When you just really think about it. It's very creative. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Paul Pickett's podcast. I'm your host, Paul Pickett. They'll probably that's probably what they banned me on, tried to suspend me on TikTok for, because I was using the terms mayonnaise, mammal, honky, and cracker. Maybe some white person got offended that I was using the term. I was calling myself a cracker in my music, so like, you know, I was just making a point that I don't get offended when people call me honky, crackers, mayonnaise, mammals. I don't get offended at you calling me names. The only name that I get offended that you call me is like scammer. You call me a scammer, I get highly offended. Highly offended. But that's about it, you know. So, yep, thank you for tuning in. Episode 98, 2 more to go. And we're going to do that press release for that episode 100 of the Paul Pickett podcast. Take a week off, reevaluate, maybe make some changes, look to upgrade my camera. Who knows? I want to thank you for tuning in. Peace, and I'm out.